Привіт! Hello dear students! Як ваші справи? I want to start with something one of you wrote to me a while back, because I think about it constantly. So, they said, over 2 years I study Ukrainian, but I still feel like a beginner. I can read very well, but my mind freezes when I have to speak. If you just nodded reading that, this video is for you. Here's what's wild. This isn't a rare problem. This is probably the most common experience among intermediate language learners in any language. You can read a news article, you understand a podcast, maybe you even write decent sentences when you have time to think. And then someone says, "Привіт, як справи?" to your face, and your brain just closes the store. Lights off.
Be back never.
Today I want to actually explain why this happens. Not just give you motivational fluff, but the actual mechanism behind it. And then give you a real plan to break it. So stick around, because by the end of this I'm going to have you speaking out loud with me. Right now, in this video. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Reading and speaking are not the same skill. They feel related because they both involve knowing Ukrainian, but your brain treats them almost like two different jobs. Reading is recognition. Speaking is production. When you read, the word is sitting right there on the page. Your brain just has to match it to something it already knows. Recognize a pattern. That's the low-effort, low-risk task. You can take your time, reread, guess from context, and you are never wrong in a way anyone sees. Speaking is the opposite. Nobody hands you the word. You have to know what you want to say in concept. Search your memory for the right word. Conjugate it correctly on the fly. Put it in the right case. And yes, Ukrainian case system is brutal for this. And you must say it out loud, in real time, with someone watching your face. That's 5 expensive steps happening in maybe half a second, with social pressure attached. No wonder it freezes. There's actually a name for this gap in linguistics. It's called the difference between receptive competence and productive competence. And here's the part that should make you feel better instead of worse. This gap is normal and expected. Every single language learner who studies primarily through reading and apps will have a productive skill behind their receptive skill. It's not that you're bad at Ukrainian. It's that you've been training one muscle and expecting the other one to magically also get strong. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine someone who has watched hundreds of hours of basketball. They understand the rules perfectly. They can spot a bad pass before it happens. They know strategy better than half the players on the court. Now hand them a ball and tell them to play in front of a crowd. Watching, it's not the same as playing. Same gap. Why specifically does Ukrainian make this worse? A few reasons specific to this language. 6 cases. When you read, you can absorb a sentence's meaning without consciously tracking why it's вечерю and not вечеря. When you speak, you have to produce that ending live, which means actively choosing the right case in real time. The next, verb aspect. Perfective or imperfective. Reading lets you absorb which one feels right through exposure. Speaking forces you to choose
Instantly.
before the sentence is even finished forming. Stress patterns and pronunciation. Reading never tests whether you can actually say a word fluidly. You can know впевненість perfectly on the page and still trip over it out loud. So, when your mind freezes, that's not personality flaw. That's your brain correctly recognizing, I have not trained for this specific task yet. Why more studying doesn't fix it? Here's the trap a lot of you are in, and I want to call it out directly. You think the solution is to study more grammar tables, more vocabulary lists, more reading. And look, that's not useless. You do need vocabulary and grammar knowledge as raw material. But if you only ever input reading, listening, flashcards, you are getting really good at recognition, while production stays frozen at wherever level it started at. Think about it mathematically. If you've spent 2 years and 95% of your study time was reading, watching apps, and only 5% was actually producing live speech, you've essentially had made a few weeks worth of real speaking practice spread across 2 years. Of course, it feels fragile. It barely exists yet. This is why people say things like, "I understand everything, but I can't speak." They're not lying or being modest. They're accurately describing two skills that grew at wildly different rates because only one of them was being trained. So, the fix isn't study harder. The fix is produce more. There's a second thing happening on top of the skill gap, and it's psychological: fear of mistakes. After 2 years of careful, correct reading, where you are never wrong in front of anyone, speaking suddenly puts your imperfections on display in real time. And that triggers something close to stage fright. And stage fright makes the cognitive freeze even worse, because now you are burning mental energy on self-monitoring. Did I said that right? Are they judging me? Instead of on actually retrieving words. And this becomes a feedback loop. You have to break this loop deliberately, because it won't break on its own. And the way you break it is widely counterintuitive. You have to get comfortable being bad at speaking, on purpose, before you get good at it. Mistakes aren't a sign you're failing. They're literally the mechanism by which the skill builds. The actual fix. A structured method. Okay, let's get practical. Here's a real plan. Step 1. Shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating immediately, almost on top of their voice, mimicking rhythm and pronunciation. Not translating, not analyzing, just producing sound in real time. Why this works? It trains a physical side of speaking. Your mouth literally needs muscle memory for Ukrainian sounds, without the pressure of generating your own content. You are outputting speech with zero risk of being wrong, because you're just echoing. Step 2. Self-talk. Narrate your own life out loud in Ukrainian, alone, with no audience. Я зараз готую каву. Кава дуже гаряча. It sounds silly, but it forces real-time retrieval and production without the social fear layer, since nobody's listening. Start with 2 minutes a day. The goal isn't correctness, it's reps. Step 3. Recorded speaking with playback. Record yourself talking for 1 minute on a simple topic. Then listen back. This does 2 things. It removes the live audience fear, because you're alone, but still gives you the discomfort of hearing your own mistakes, which is where real correction happens. Step 4. Low stakes real conversation. This is the step people skip out of fear, and it's the one that actually closes the gap. But low stakes matters. Find a conversation partner who is patient, ideally another learner at a similar level, not a native speaker who will make you feel exposed right away. Language exchange apps, or honestly, comment under my videos and I will connect learners sometimes. Step 5. The good enough sentence rule. Give yourself a rule. If you know 80% of how to say something, say it anyway with a gap, rather than staying silent until it's perfect. Я хочу піти до магазин. It's infinitely more valuable than silence. Silence trains nothing. Imperfect attempts train everything. Live practice. Alright, let's actually do this together right now. I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to pause and say it out loud before I give the correct version. Don't write it, say it. Я п'ю каву. Я п'ю каву. Вона читає книгу. Вона читає книгу. Ми дивимось фільм. Ми дивимось фільм. Я купив хліб вчора. Я купив хліб вчора. Я купила хліб вчора. Він писав листа, коли я подзвонив. Вона писала листа, коли я подзвонив. Я йду до мами. Я йду до мами. Цей подарунок для тебе. Цей подарунок для тебе. Дякую за вечерю. Можна каву з молоком, будь ласка? Можна каву з молоком, будь ласка? Я не розумію. Можете повторити? Я не розумію. Можете повторити? Я вивчаю українську 2 роки. Але все ще нервуюсь, коли говорю. Я вивчаю українську 2 роки. Але все ще нервуюсь, коли говорю. Вчора я пішов у магазин, купив овочі і зварив суп. Вчора я пішов у магазин, купив овочі і зварив суп. If you take one thing from this video, the phrase isn't proof that you are bad at Ukrainian. It's proof that you've built one skill and not the other. And that's completely fixable, starting today, with 5 minutes of talking to yourself in your kitchen. Tell me in the comments, where exactly do you freeze? Is it vocabulary retrieval, grammar, cases, or just the fear of being heard? I read every comment, and it will help me build the next episode around your specific freeze point. Дякую, що подивилися це відео. Please support me on Patreon and buy me a coffee, and thank you for those who are supporting me already. Now in Ukraine we have a really hot weather, and authorities said that again they will turn off electricity because of this hot weather. Oh man, when this will stop? Keep praying for Ukraine. Скоро побачимось.